Tom, thanks so much for joining me here.
Thanks for inviting me.
Well, I'm excited to be working with you and your resume. Today, we're going to be focusing on two aspects of your resume: writing your headline and the keywords adjective section. Starting off, the format of the resume is first name across the top, then your email address. You've got a great email address, first initial, second initial, last name at Gmail. It's amazing how many people use a novelty email address, skibunny at AOL.com. And it's like, look, that's great for your personal career,
right?
Or for your personal email. You can't be saying, well, look, I'm a serious finance professional. Email me at skibunny at AOL.com.
Well, I'm not a ski bunny, so I rolled that one out early.
What we say that we're trying to do with this headline is summarize your professional identity. And there's a couple things that we want to do here. One is effectively convey your role. One is convey your level. Another is convey your industry. And a fourth is include a slightly flattering adjective. Not a boastful, not a braggadocious adjective, but just when people see this headline, this is what they should think about when they're thinking about this professional. So you started off with sales leader. I've drafted, and I want to talk with you about this, expert technology sales leader. Now, from reading your resume and from some of your background and hearing you here today, that struck me as kind of appropriate for where you might be. But let's talk about what's the best way for you to identify yourself professionally.
Well, I would say actually you kind of hit that on the head. I wasn't sure if you put, I've heard a lot of different things like put expert in there, don't put expert in there. I mean, for me, there's a lot of people that I work with that I do know that refer to me as the expert in certain areas, and
yeah.
I get reached out to a lot, especially as we've moved throughout, I'll call it my circle of influence or whatever, but as we've separated from working together in different types of businesses and stuff like that, I still get a lot of calls from people saying, hey, even old customers saying, hey, we're making a change. I know you're not working there anymore, but want to run something past you. So
right,
that's fitting.
Now, you did a terrific job with this opening statement here. I'm an expert with over 25 years experience building rapport, managing people and relationships, teaming with clients, partners, and employees. I think overall it is probably most effective as your cover paragraph when you're sending resumes in. So there are, to kind of go to the beginnings of what we're trying to do with the resume, there are four audiences we're trying to hit with the resume. One is the very young HR screener who has been assigned by the boss to look through the resumes and find me a sales leader.
Right.
She or he, typically I classify as, they're a 23-year-old HR person. They've been given a list of keywords and experiences to look for, and that's what they're there to do. The next person that you got to impress is the recruiter. So when somebody is hiring a high-end professional at the 100K plus level, they've already made another decision. They're going to have a serious professional do that recruiting for them. They're not going to have the 23-year-old screener do it themselves. So, and whether that person is outside of the company and works at an agency and is therefore called an executive search person, or they're in-house and they're called director of talent acquisition or internal recruiter, that person's a professional. And we're trying to target that person as well. Third person we're trying to target is future boss. And then the fourth person we're trying to target is the ATS, the applicant tracking system. That's the internal software that companies use to manage this enormous paper flow of resumes. So the section after your headline, what we want to do, and what's standard in our Ladders resume, is this section where we have, we call it the professional summary. It's pretty common across resumes, but what we found is most effective is that having this up here allows us to get our point across quickly and hit each of those audiences in a way that is most meaningful to them. So the first line is a list of job titles that you would accept next. Second line is a description of your skills or capabilities. Third line is accomplishments that you've had. Fourth line is awards, achievements, certifications, and if there two or three or one or two other capabilities or accomplishments that we couldn't fit above. We're going to pack them in here. And so here's what I've pulled out. So first off, let's go through job titles that you'd actually accept. Let's talk about the important thing here. So this is not what we're not going to put up here at the top is job titles that you've had before. So your resume is an advertisement for your future job. So we don't want to have up at the top of your advertisement the list of jobs that you had in the past, because that's not what you're advertising for. You're advertising for these future jobs. And so far what we've come up with are channel manager, director channel sales, VP sales enablement, VP product marketing. Talk to me a little bit about the types of roles and the types of titles that you'd accept in your next role.
Well, so channel director and channel manager. If it's right, working with partners and educating partners, doing all that stuff is something that I've done for many, many years and through a number of different jobs. And typically that's been a specific focus, or I've had a blend of doing both of those. So looking for the right channel opportunity to help from a true focus on a growth aspect. If I continue down the channel path, eventually possibly being a channel chief somewhere, something of that nature, going from a director standpoint. But for me, it's just getting to that next level.
So we have to trim this line down without playing with the margins, like one's always tempted to do.
So,
which of these titles is the one that's going to get voted off the island, or which word should we vote off the island?
Leave it as director, channel sales, VP sales enablement, VP product marketing.
You'd scratch channel manager.
I think so.
Okay, great. So then from your background in terms of capabilities, what I pulled out of there was revenue growth, high energy, channel management, value selling, sales leader.
I like it.
From the accomplishments, this was wordy, but I thought it made sense for you. Identifying new revenue opportunities, because that seems to be a repetitive theme in your background. Increasing ARPU and increasing average deal size. Normally I'd advise against having a technical acronym in here at the top. But to the extent that in your industry, and it seems like in your industry, that is a common acronym, and that might be something that a future boss and a recruiter would understand, then it would make sense to have in here. In terms of being appropriate and kind of the most important capabilities and accomplishments, how do these two lines stack up for you?
That looks good. I see what you're saying on the ARPU thing. I guess, like, I'm thinking through the as a service market, which everybody's moving to in so many ways.
And so now the mindset you want to put yourself into is you're a recruiter who doesn't do what you do for a living, but the boss has asked that recruiter to the boss has asked the 23-year-old screener to find me somebody who's good at X. What is that X that matches up with your background? And that's what we want to have here. For a director of channel sales, a VP sales enablement, VP product marketing.
I think all those fit. I would say maybe instead of average deal size, maybe increasing recurring revenue.
Yeah.
Because that's, especially in the as a service market, I mean, that's their big thing, right? Is that it's
And so as a service, you're in your field, you're selling software as a service. What are you selling as a service?
Yeah, we sell software as a service. We sell it as currently we sell it as a subscription or perpetual licensing, and very quickly they're moving toward that SaaS model, that cloud-based model.
Now, and you didn't include SaaS anywhere on your original resume.
Probably unified communications as a service. I don't know. I've done so many different resumes depending upon what it was over the years.
Well, this is a great example of things that we miss.
Yeah.
So you are so marinating in SaaS talk all day that you're just assuming anybody I'm talking to about a job knows that I do SaaS. The problem is the 23-year-old screener doesn't.
Sure. And
the boss has asked the screener, find me a SaaS leader. So should we make sure we get SaaS in here?
Yeah, I think so.
When somebody's looking for a sales leader in SaaS, what are they looking for? Somebody who's used to, is it called SaaS selling? Is it SaaS presenting? Is it
I would say it's SaaS selling.
SaaS selling. So value selling, sales leader, channel management. Which one of those should go so that we can get SaaS selling in?
Well, okay, we hit revenue growth on the next line down on kind of twice, actually. New revenue opportunities and recurring revenues. So maybe we replace revenue growth up above that second line. Maybe say SaaS sales expert.
Now, high energy, typically one won't put a personality characteristic into a resume. From your original resume and your questions, it came through so clearly to me. I could feel the energy from you, right? And I didn't want to lose that, right? So I thought that bending the rule a little bit and including that made sense in this case. So high energy, and then when we went to our fourth line, I wanted to add in here, what really struck me from your resume: promoted repeatedly, customer-centric sales coach, infectious enthusiasm. That's another personality characteristic. This is your optional fourth line. It's fine to put it there. And attention to detail. So that as that 23-year-old screener, if I'm looking through this, I see the SaaS sales, I see revenue, increasing revenue. As the recruiter, I see the expertise, and I see that twice this professional has told me high energy, infectious enthusiasm. As a recruiter, reading that, I'm intrigued. I'm like, wow, this professional is really coming across as somebody who's willing to put out there that they've got the energy and they're ready to go. I'm interested in seeing that. And then for the boss, you've got the titles, right? If I'm looking for anybody if I'm looking for somebody for one of my roles, like these, that's who I can hire. This has the skills that you have that as the boss. Hey, I definitely need that in my role. What is the boss hiring for? These all speak to what the boss is hiring for. And then this kind of the fourth line, optional fourth line, rounds it out. So to recap what we've learned for the headline section, you do want to convey your role, your level, your industry, and then start it with a slightly flattering adjective. You want to show yourself in the best light, but not overdo it with bragging or boastfulness. And do make sure that you get the level in there that you're looking for next. You don't want to advertise for the job you had in the past. You want to advertise for the job that you want in the future.
This looks great. I'm excited. Makes me excited about me. Brings my enthusiasm back.
That's great. That's great. Well, look, it's an impressive background that you have. And what I love about writing resumes is helping people take the terrific experience and terrific background they have and helping that shine on the page. Because you don't write resumes for a living. I mean, if you're spending all your time writing your resume, then you're not doing your real job. It's tough for people to understand, well, how do I make my experience really shine? With Ladder's 17 years experience in this and seeing literally millions of applications over those years and how well they fare, this is the format that we came to really help people let their experience do the talking for them.